a privilege. Welcome to Vintage Gay, and we have one of my favorite people, Sister Roma. We, I have to tell you, I have wanted this forever because you were one of the people, besides Richie, that knew me when I was some little kid from Orange County, California, that came out of the closet, moved to San Francisco when I was like, it was 1987 or 88.
Right. Yes,
And I met you.
yeah, well we ran in the same circles. We worked
You
at
did.
Colossus together.
We did. And you were there
Yeah.
when I was discovering my club kidness when it wasn't perfected.
It was though, because it was so authentic and
Yeah.
raw and just you, which is how you've always been.
Uh,
And it was we had so much fun back then.
we did. You are a happy place to me because that was the coming of age time. I mean, of course, it was in the middle of AIDS and the AIDS crisis, and most of people were going there to die. You know what I mean? Because they could smoke pot, they can gain weight, they could do whatever, and it was it was a sad time, but it was I don't know.
Well, it was the perfect time to show the world who our community is and who we
Yes,
are.
yes,
Because you would expect it to be very dismal and depressing and sad, and it was at time, and it was appropriate. There
yeah.
were candlelight vigils, there were deaths every day. We were surrounded by people who were losing their friends, but at the same time, we took care of each other. We stood up, we celebrated and we danced.
It's so funny. I moved there, left everything behind. No one wanted to have anything to do with my little gay ass, and I got there and I found people that just made me happy. Like you said, it was like a joyful thing where I discovered gayness, and today I would not change that for anything. Like I like being gay. Like
Oh,
I'm cool with being gay.
yes, absolutely. I cannot. Could you imagine? Okay, first of all, imagine being a straight woman and having to put up with men, straight men. Or being a straight man, which is even worse because straight men put themselves in these cages and these boxes where they're not allowed to laugh, cry, be great dancers. You know, they have to be breadwinners, but they can't be overly affectionate. I mean, a lot of straight men, not all straight men, but like there's this historical image of masculinity and what it means to be a man that is so unfair. Ugh, I couldn't do it.
If you had to describe the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence in your own words, what does it stand for and what is the meaning behind it? I Googled it and I was like, it started with four people
Yeah, absolutely.
and they have good names.
Honestly, I mean, I'm not, I have an elevator pitch that I can give people about who we are real quick, but you and I have been friends for 100 years, and
Yeah,
this audience understands who we are and gets it. So I will tell you that it was honestly started by a group of gay men who wanted to go out and fuck with people.
yeah.
They really were just like looking around San Francisco and they were so bored with the typical gay man. Like everyone was like in leather jackets, big mustaches. They were super macho. They all looked alike. In fact, the term was Castro clones. So these guys who were all friends and had roots in the Radical Fairies and the Angels of Light and the Cockettes got together, and Ken Bunch, Sister Vicious Power Hungry Bitch, had these nuns habits that for some reason, he packed when he left Iowa. And it was Easter weekend, and they said, let's put on these nuns habits and go fuck with people. And that's what it was. That's how it started. And they
It's so
created a
punk rock.
worldwide
So punk rock.
human rights, it is a worldwide human rights activist fundraising organization. And that's how it started.
So punk rock. When I met you, it was punk rock. Like it was, you were really, like, this is when it turned into the AIDS, like, like you guys were on the front line.
Right. Well,
You were very visible.
I always tell people because I moved to San Francisco in 1985, right after college from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And quite often people were like, well, you're gonna get AIDS. And I was like, what? Am I? Like, but it was scary. There was so much stigma, so much fear, so many unanswered questions. But I moved here and I lived a wild 2 years, just like a lunatic. Like I went nuts. And one of my very best friends was this guy, Norman. who was a bartender. So, I free drinks, girl, and then bartenders nowhere to get the Coke. And we brought boys home. Like we were really good friends. And then one day I was with some other friends after work at the Midnight Sun, happy hour, and the door flew open and in came this creature like I've never seen before, like this gorgeous showgirl clown nun. And she seemed to know everybody by name. She walked up to the bartender, he gave her a drink, and she walked over and she said hi to me. And I was like, "Do I know you?" She goes, "It's me, Norman." And I go, "Girl, what are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm Sister Luscious Lashes." So that was my introduction to the sisters. And as soon as I learned about the early activism that the sisters were involved in, like I feel like the way that they started about wanting to fuck with people, they really quickly took a political turn and they became involved in protecting immigrants and violence on college campuses. And when HIV/AIDS started to ravage the community, in my opinion, that's when the sisters really found their purpose. Because some people don't know that the sisters were the first group ever to produce a safer sex pamphlet called Playfair. It was illustrated and it used like plain language and humor about how to educate the community to protect themselves from sexually transmitted diseases. And it's recognized as being the first safer sex pamphlet.
When I met you and I saw that and I saw what you stood for, you were so fun too. But it was the sister part was just so fantastic. Like it was like, oh wow, that lady has purpose. You know what I mean?
Right. It's true. It's a very powerful, religious icon. It brings up a lot of emotions in people. It has a lot of historical significance. And we turned it gay. And the sisters were behind the AIDS candlelight visual. The sisters were the first group ever to hold a fundraiser for people who were sick and dying, needed help, like for paying rent and practical things. So I always feel like moving to San Francisco probably saved my life, and meeting the sisters definitely I was in the right place at the right time because immediately I just picked up the cause and started to fight. Our community was fighting for our lives. So, you saw my first paint. It was very much like war paint, super hard edges, big, bold neon colors. I wore my nun's habit for a long time. When we hosted those clubs together, I was just in a black robe with a white bib, like giving you nun, honey, with crosses and all of it. But it was appropriate because we were at war.
Describe, because you were there when I was there too. Describe ACT UP to the young kids that didn't understand that either. Because that was another
Well,
one.
yeah, there was so much anger, justifiable anger in our community because literally we were dying and no one gave a damn. Like we honestly, it was killing intravenous drug users, um, prostitutes, and faggots. And some people felt like it was killing all the right people. Like the government didn't come to our assistance. There were no answers. And we were like, you need to take this seriously. We are dying by the thousands. So ACT UP was born out of anger and activism to get people's attention, to make people realize that this was serious and that we needed help and we needed them to care. So ACT UP did some really radical shit. Stood, had sit-ins on the Bay Bridge and did all kinds of demonstrations
I
all
remember
over the
that.
place. Yeah, it
You were
was.
laying across the bridge, like, yes,
Honey, you know the gays, honey, we're dramatic, girl. We're not just gonna
so
be like, oh,
dramatic.
pay attention to us. We're gonna let you have it. And it
I
was
remember my
fierce.
girlfriend was leaving, and I said, "Where are you going?" And she was in like a yellow sequin one, like long dress. She said, "I'm going to lay on a bridge." I was like,
Yep. And at the same time, like we were just saying, like it was a desperate, angry time, but we brought our signature joy and who we are to it. So ACT UP was always very political and very radical, but also at the same time, it was as a celebration of who we are.
yeah. I think that the sisters were colorful and there. I didn't like I just knew you. You know what I mean? Like you were my friend, so I understood it in a different way. And I think what
Right.
you did for me is you helped. I saw your color and your joy of the dress up and the fun, and I found mine. You know what I mean? I wasn't that scared little kid from the Mormon family back in Orange
You
County.
listen, no, honey, no one could tell you were scared. Like you were sassy and a live wire. It felt to me like you walked in and you were at home immediately.
I was just so happy. I remember Margaret and I just went to a wedding in San Francisco, and I saw um, Cafe Flore, and I was like, I used to sit the right when I found that little gay coffee shop, and I sat there and I would watch the gays go by like I was in a fishbowl, like it was a fishbowl. I was
Yeah.
so excited. I'm like, homosexuals. Like I was so happy. Like
Yeah.
I just I couldn't I can't explain how that place, Colossus, my friend at that point, like just changed the direction of my life because I would have died.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
San
And
Francisco.
and you'll be glad to know that San Francisco still has a lot of that magic. This is still an extremely special place, and you can feel the energy and the power of our community when you're here.
Uh, I just love that.
So come to San Francisco. That's right. I mean, because when we came here, we were escaping. A lot of people escaped to San Francisco long before we got here, like all through the 60s and 70s, hippies, beatniks, people in the military who were discharged for being gay, like they all came here. And we came here because we were oppressed, we were bullied, we were unhappy. We knew that we couldn't be authentic. We knew we couldn't live our lives the way we wanted to in these little small towns where we were from. And so we flocked to San Francisco and we found each other.
We
And
did.
then as time went on, it became more acceptable to be gay and people became more familiar with queer people and everybody started to feel more comfortable coming out and being themselves. So people didn't necessarily need to leave their hometowns. I mean, there's a pride in Grand Rapids, Michigan now, which just, blows me away. I mean, there's like these little small towns have these little fierce pride parades. I'm like, yes, you go, bitches.
Have you ever been the grandmaster or the whatever of San Francisco Gay Pride?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, I know you had to be in that car.
I was. So it was on the 25th, my 25th anniversary of being a sister in 2012 that I was elected community grand marshal. So I was that for the San Francisco Pride Parade. I've been grand marshal in the Prague Pride Parade. I was a guest of Shanghai Pride, and I was just grand marshal of the Palm Springs Pride Parade just in November.
Look at you. Look at
Yeah.
you, honey.
Yes, girl. She's very good at riding in cars and racing.
No, I see it. I see it.
Remember Rhapsody from the Clouds? Yes. She was a gorgeous trans woman. Her and April and Melanie and Heather Monroe were like the four trans goddesses. And honey, when that bitch cracked open her makeup case and started beating that mug, and they put on all their Chanel and their jewels, and we'd have limousines and plates of cocaine, and then we'd hit the clubs. And that was all glamorous and fun, but getting to know them personally and listening to their stories and seeing life from their perspective is one of the biggest influences in my life. It made me have a deep connection to the trans community, a better understanding of who they are, and also they were just so goddamn funny. Remember how viciously funny they were? I have never
They
laughed still to this
they were
day as
so
hard as I
nice
did.
to me because they liked me. They were so nice to me, but honey, anyone was like they were just they were so fun and funny
Yeah.
and and quick witted
Yeah.
and
Texas. Those
sharp.
bitches were from Texas. They were hilarious. Yeah.
If you could say anything to the trans community, like of hope or whatever, what would you say?
Well, I've always been so proud of the trans community. These humans are beyond brave. They have recognized something in themselves that so many people don't understand and continue to push back on, yet they persevere. They've made such strides. the progress that they've made explaining to people who they are, explaining to themselves. I mean, trans people have been here since the beginning of time. Like, let's start there. Trans people, queer people have always been here. There's nothing abnormal. There's not a choice. We're born, and we've been here since the beginning of time. The difference is now that we have words to better describe who we are and better words to use to help other people to explain who we are. So people are like, what is everybody talking about? Trans and non-binary and theys, thems. Like, it's all too confusing. Like, what is this? It's like, it's not new. It's just words to help us educate you and help you understand who we are and to help us understand who we are. So my words of encouragement to the trans community is I know it's scary right now. My God, literally, the government is trying to commit genocide against the trans community. I'm just going to say it. Like they are trying to obliterate any acknowledgement that trans people even exist. And that's never going to work. And there are people, many, many people in the trans community and outside the trans community who understand you and appreciate you and love you and will fight for you and protect you until this nightmare is over. And it will. This nightmare will end. I'm confident of that.
What would you say to that little gay kid that's sitting there that's afraid to come out or just like afraid of being who they are or who they feel inside? Because look at us, like you know what I mean.
No, it can be very scary. Of course it can, because you know you're different somehow from other people. And sometimes being different feels like it's a very bad thing. And there are people who tell you that it's bad to be different. There are so many people who are comfortable conforming. So many people who just want to assimilate and blend in. Don't look at me, don't pay attention to me. I'm just like you. And I used to be one of those people. When I first came out as gay in college, well, actually, I mean, who are we kidding? Like, I came out gay in high school. I didn't ever say the words till I was in college. But when I finally said the words to my friends, I was like, listen, I'm the same person I was before. I'm just like you. Nothing's changed. I wanted them to still accept me. And it wasn't until I came to San Francisco and met the sisters where I was like, you know what? I'm not just like you. I don't want to be just like anyone. I'm an individual. I'm unique. I am who I am. Don't ever try and make me assimilate or say that I'm normal. For God's sakes, to be normal. Ugh, what a nightmare. And I believe that queer and trans people literally are anointed. I believe that we are chosen. If you look back through centuries of time, trans and queer people have been healers, shamans, caretakers, revered gods, goddesses. Like we are given so many special gifts. And the ironic part is the bullies and the people who would detract from us and try to oppress us, keep pushing us down and grinding against us, telling us we're wrong, we're bad, we're immoral, we're crazy. They're creating these fucking diamonds, girl. So hang in there, little baby gays, little baby lesbians, baby trans people, and non-binaries. You're all valid, you're all important, and you're all a gift. You're a
And we
gift.
see you. And we
We
see
see
you.
you.
We
Yes.
see you. So when we went to San Francisco for the wedding, it was, and we were walking down the Castro. I was like the little kid in me that ran away. That was like that found this little magical city. Like I didn't believe because when we were young, it was illegal to be gay, like illegal, you know. And
Yeah.
so coming out was a big deal, and it was scary. And then it now because of the sisters, because of ACT UP, because of the gay people standing up and protesting, and we can get married. Like you can go pick up a child at school and they won't go pervert. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can have your own kids in school. Like
But we've made such progress. I mean, we have literally, first of all, with gay liberation, with Harvey Milk and Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera and, all of the icons from that movement and everybody around them were responsible for just literally being themselves and telling people to come out, make sure people can see you. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Let them know you're here because we have far more in our family than people believe and understand. And if someone knows someone that is gay or queer or trans, it will definitely affect the way that they perceive us. It's better for all of us. That was their message. And then HIV/AIDS came and slapped us and tried to beat us all down. And again, our community had to rise and show the world how to deal with compassion to a plague that was killing us and take action to take care of ourselves and each other. Again, showing the world the perfect example, honestly, of how to survive with kindness and love. And then we started making more progress as HIV/AIDS, there were medications and changes to that. And then we're like, you know what? We deserve the right to serve. We're going to fight for our right to serve in the military. This don't ask, don't tell bullshit is not working. There's nothing wrong with being gay or trans. You can serve in the military. We fought hard for that. We fought really hard for marriage. I'm so proud of the fact that it all started right here in San Francisco. I mean, Gavin Newsom took office, and practically the next day he was like, that's discrimination. We're going to do gay marriages. I mean,
So
if you
if
really,
anyone is doubting Gavin Newsom or saying whatever, he is the one, and I remember he is the one that brought this forward. It got
oh
taken
yeah.
away shortly after, but Gavin Newsom was the mayor that passed it. No,
Well, he said it's discriminatory and we're going to do it. He didn't get approval from anyone and he risked his entire political career. He was a brand new mayor. And sure enough, they opened the registrar's office, they changed the forms, and they just stamped them and started marrying people. And people flocked here by the thousands. It was such an important, empowering time to be alive. But then, of course, it had to go to the ballots, and we were devastated when it lost. But we kept fighting, we kept fighting. And I was in New York for Pride when Barack Obama went, they interrupted whatever was on TV with a special broadcast. The Supreme Court has made their decision, and same-sex marriage is the law of the land. And then after you probably were you in New York then? Yeah.
yes,
So you remember how we all went to Stonewall and then we went to the park and like everybody, like, I mean, the streets were just full of people.
yeah,
It
and it was
was
it
incredible.
was so celebratory. Like, uh, I I love gay people. I love gay people.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just an impeccable time to be in New York for this message for Pride. I mean, it was unreal. But those are just two examples of the battles that we've had to fight and that we continue to fight today.
yes.
So I am very proud of my community and of you and of me and of everybody. And as like you said, I love being gay.
Yeah, I do. I love being gay. We and
You're
here's
very gay,
someone.
by the way. You're very, very gay. I want you to
I
know.
am very gay, and I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, like, I was the one with glitter shooting out of my ass at 9. Like, and we back then they were just like faggot. Like, they could point you out, right?
Yeah.
And no one wanted to be friends with you because it was one illegal until we were the teenagers, really, and then AIDS. So no one wanted to be with you because that would gay them up if they were,
Yeah.
because so in San Francisco, no one cared. And that was the safest space. And here I am from no friends, from being beat up every day. I have a 40-year relationship with you.
Yeah.
Like, here we are
Yeah. Aren't we
with
lucky? We're
fondness in
so
our
lucky.
hearts.
So lucky that we have survived and thrived
Yeah.
through all of this. Honestly, it's there we've lost so many. If we were to sit down and start mentioning names or comparing notes or thinking about the people, it would be devastating. It is devastating. So I am so grateful. Honestly, every day I wake up, bitch, I'm all like, yep, she's got a pulse, she's awake, let's do this. Like, people are always like, well, you're everywhere, you do everything, you're at so many events, and if there's a rally, you're on the street screaming, if there's a gala, you're up there hosting it, raising money. Why do you do it? How do you find the energy? And I'm like, girl, what are the what else am I gonna do? I am so grateful to be able to do it. I'm so honored that people want me to be involved, that they invite me to these things, that people still are engaged with me, and that it's a gift. It's such a gift, and it's not going to last forever.
No. No, and the beautiful thing is that when we were younger, we didn't have a lot of older people to show us that you could be old, gay, and happy. We didn't. And now here we get to show people you can be old, gay, and happy, and
Yeah,
and and live in your authenticity and your gayness. Like I don't know. I see you and I just go, oh, my heart smiles because they're here we are, old gay ladies, and we're happy as shit. And we didn't know if we'd be happy as kids.
right. True. Yeah. I've always sort of had this weird, I guess maybe I look through the world with rose-colored glasses. I'm sort of an optimist. And I think it has to do with the way that I was raised too. My mother sort of always instilled in me this belief that everything was going to be okay. Like everything is going to be fine, everything's going to work out, things come and go, the pendulum swings to the left, it swings to the right. After all of the great progress that our community made and the trans community has made, the other people on the other side are freaking out. They're threatened, they don't understand it, and they're pushing back. So the pendulum, we see it swinging in the opposite direction right now. But I have lived long enough to see the pendulum swing both ways, and it has to go back. And it will, and it'll go back even farther. People will understand, oh my God, we made some horrible choices. We fell for some rhetoric, some lies. We fell for a bunch of bullshit, honestly, about the trans community, about queer people, about drag queens, about grooming, all the words that they love to use. It's all a distraction from what's really going on. We're being used as a scapegoat again, but we will again win.
That is so delicious. There's a couple things that I think people were like, what is that? Describe what the quilt was to somebody.
Oh,
The
the
AIDS
AIDS quilt.
quilt. Like
Yes,
someone
the
was like,
AIDS
what's
Memorial
that?
quilt.
And I was like, that's a really important part of gay history. No?
Yeah. So Cleve Jones, who I'm so in love with, he was, if you want to talk about queer people other than Rhapsody and the girls who were important, influences on my life, Cleve Jones is like right up there at the very top. He is the creator and founder of the AIDS Memorial Quilt, which was a brilliant idea because first of all, like what's a quilt? Right? It's a loving handmade covering. You wrap yourself in a quilt and you just feel love and you feel safe. So the idea for people to create panels for this quilt to memorialize, remember, and celebrate people that they've lost from HIV/AIDS was a brilliant idea. And got people to make these beautiful panels for this quilt. And it has grown. It covers 3 football fields. I mean, it's a bit more. It's unbelievably huge. It's stored here in San Francisco. I recently toured the where it's stored. Um, it's overwhelming, it's powerful, it's beautiful, and it's an important part of our history for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with the quilt, please look it up. And you can schedule a visit. You can come see the warehouse where it's stored. And it's also on display all over the world. It's been on display on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It travels the globe, and people come from far and near to see it.
Did you make a panel?
I didn't. I've never made a panel.
I did, but I don't think it was it's not for the original that I saw in San Francisco that went to Washington. It was like later. They were sending them other places.
Yeah, we have a panel for the sisters, for the nuns of the above. But yeah, I've never made a panel. But if I decide to, I can.
Yeah,
Maybe I will, actually.
that would be
I don't know why
so
it
good.
never occurred. I mean, hello. I'm so glad you asked me that question because they have classes and it's all free. You can go and they'll show you how to do it. And then once you make your panel, design it, put it together, then they put it into the master quilt, all the different panels. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Bob Mackey and Cleve Jones are like two of my like. Oh, I
Yeah.
I would love to talk to
Well,
those
he's an
two.
author, he's a producer, He is,
Activist.
oh my God, an activist. He has got a silver tongue. Baby, he can get up there and just start going. It's like he's like possessed by the history of all the ancient healers and speakers and activists and like the words that he spews. Like you just stand there and you're ready to fight, you're ready to protest, you're ready to hug, you're ready to do whatever he says. He's such an inspiring, important person. I
What's
don't
going on
know
with you? Tell me what you're up to. The people want to know. I have 25 subscribers.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for subscribing and watching. Don't forget to like and follow. I am busy. I'm very, very busy. Like I said, I just can't. I'm a girl who can't say no. I've got the calendar filling up with some travel. I'm going to be working with the Court in Vancouver, going to be with some sisters in Montreal for their big 10th anniversary conclave. We're planning Easter, of course, which is our big celebration. Easter in Dolores Park is something that you do not want to miss. It's the sisters' anniversary because we were founded on Easter weekend in 1979. And so we have a free party to thank the community for welcoming us and letting us be of service. And it's grown from this little, quirky community party in Collingwood Park at the school in Collingwood Park to a huge celebration of like 5,000 plus people in Dolores Park every year. And that is where we have local talent. There's bands, live music, there's drag, there's the Hunky Jesus contest, which is the big draw. I've been hosting Hunky Jesus contest for 20 years. It is the most brilliant, iconic San Francisco experience you could possibly have.
Oh my God, I thank you for doing this. Our time's up. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you. Hey, you're gay. Aging is a privilege.